The father of the groom. Now, some of you know the groom to be David, and some of you, and probably the majority of you, know the groom to be Parker. So, I have two sons, and I have to split the time up. First, please let me apologize for using set of notes because I can't seem to remember what I had for breakfast this morning. And my wife Sharon, she usually helps me with this problem, but it's not until she can figure out what day it is. All right. I want to say that we're all getting old, but just like George Burns, if any of you are old enough to remember who the hell George Burns is, he had a saying that whenever he went to tie his shoes, he would bend down to tie his shoes, and while he was down there, he thought if there's anything else he could do while he was down there. I can't read this. What is a pleasure for me to be in this beautiful place and have two people that finally found each other, celebrate an everlasting love. I really appreciate being here, and I appreciate all of you coming to see this event because it is spectacular. And these two people have found each other, and I'm so happy they did. When I first met Brooklyn, I learned that besides her love for David, she had an all-out love for animals. And I had watched everything from their posting when they went to Paris together to pictures of their bunnies and their kittens, and I mean, just absolutely amazing to me. Sharon watched all the pictures with me, and all I can say is that when I met her son John, I said to myself, here's a guy who is absolutely great and has a great future, and my only regret was that John didn't live close enough to where I could see him more often. But when I found out that Brooklyn wanted a supercharger for her Mustang, that did it for me. David has found himself a girl who has a need for speed, and I really think he's going to really have a great time with Brooklyn's cars. Page 2. My very first thought about watching David growing up was the wonderful times we used to go to Dayland Mall in Miami, if any of you have been there. And we would sit on a bench, and David would tell me about the people he saw, he would guess at what occupation they were, just from their looks. Then he would go and tell me about what famous person that person reminded him of. And he just kept expounding on all his different thoughts. And it was so great for me because every one of them was a good sense of humor that we matched up with. I did have a problem though. David has a tendency to, well, let's put it this way. I could never watch basically any type of a show like Jeopardy or any type of a quiz show like Trivial Pursuit because he always had the answer before I could even comprehend the question. You're holding the microphone. Sorry. His capacity for knowledge and retaining it was absolutely astounding. And to this day, I admire him for that. As David and his younger brother Dan grew older, I wanted to make them thoroughly understand a few things. I wanted them to understand right from wrong. I wanted them to understand good from bad. And I wanted them to know how to accept the responsibility for their deeds and their actions in their life. So, page 3.
Page 3.
So, before David got his first car, I did what I thought was a beneficial teaching lesson for him. I took he and his younger brother Dan down to the Dade County Jail.
And left us for an extended period of time.
No. There, the three of us sat on a bench and we watched. Eddie, make sure you get this. We watched people who were at least charged with some bad deed, and they walked into the cell door. Are you getting tired? They walked into the cell door, and when they heard that steel door clang shut, I wanted both of them to know that the reason they're doing this is as a result of their bad actions, and I wanted them to see that. Now, my wife Sharon didn't exactly, she wasn't tickled pink with my learning lesson for them. So I admire David very much for his strive for knowledge about his chosen profession. And he's so self-motivated and always wants to be the best he can be in what he does.
He is.
After graduating from Ringling College of Art and Design with a fine arts degree, something drew him to the pursuit of hairstyling. And due to his thirst for being the best at what he did, he was later selected to be on a nationwide TV show called Sheer Genius. I watched this show every night he was on. When I watched with his mother was talking to the TV set and sometimes yelling at it and sometimes screaming at it while she cheered him on. I can't deny that, because when I make statements about his mother, I do want to tell you that last August was our 50th anniversary. And now we're going to page 4.
Page 4.
Before I go any further, I was asked by Parker not to share any embarrassing stories. So that's it. Oh, wait. Wait. I then asked David. He said, yeah, sure, go ahead and say what you want. Which I appreciated.
I don't think that he said that.
Now let me add some thoughts to help his wonderful new wife, Brooklyn, be aware of some minor little idiosyncrasies that David has. Okay. On occasion, David has been known to dress himself up as Spider-Man and hop on the first refrigerator top he could find.
It's true.
Please don't question the accuracy of the statement, because I do have a picture. And Brooklyn, if you and David are lucky enough to ever buy a new boat and go cruising or fishing, and you need to get gas for the boat, and you pull into a dock to refuel it, I want you to please identify for David the difference between a fuel filler hose on the port and a rod holder.
I was told that any hole was fine.
There's no need to elaborate on this comment. You can just ask David for the rest of the story. Page 5.
Page 5.
We're coming to the end, I can quit. Okay. And now, as David's father, I want to thank all the family and friends for helping come to this place and celebrate with us on this very great day. And I also want to do a special thanks for Brooklyn. And that special thanks is for making our son David so very, very happy. It is, Sharon and I are so proud to welcome you and John to our family.
Thank you.
And all I can say is that I hope your dreams and your desires and your passions be fulfilled many, many years. And I want to thank every one of you for coming tonight.